I promise you, I don't try. I don't try to find ways to annoy myself. I've got a lighting situation right now. I took all the stress out of this week as much as I could to do the least stressful way possible of doing the show, and somehow you see it. You see the little. That's not supposed to be like that, and I've got 15 different lights on me that have all been in the same position for months after months after months. But now, for some reason, oh, did that fix it? One of them got moved a little bit. Looks like it fixed it. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, T-Bone, from the Luns B Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew, coming to you live on the Book of Faces and simulcast on the Talks of Tick. It's Sunday, 10:30. It's time for the Supplemental. The Supplemental is in addition to your regularly scheduled Luns B Show. You can catch your Luns B Show anywhere fine podcasts are sold. We do this as just a little extra content, a little fun to have with our family and our friends and our listeners from all over El Mundo, to include our friend Anna, who lives there in beautiful Italy. Lago Patria, to be specific. What do? We do three things. We do your National Days of the Week. And why do we do National Days of the Week? I'll tell you why. Find a reason to celebrate life every day. And if you can't find a reason to celebrate life, somebody has made a national day that gives you an excuse to celebrate something. We highlight those for you every week. We do a ComCom. I know what ComCom I'm going to do. I just thought about it. A ComCom is a community or comedy-related note, letting you know about something going on in and around the greater Harrisburg metropolitan area, or Rota, if something should pop up. Rota, our partner, is in coastal Spain, our sister city, if you will. And then we finish it up with the National Days of the Week. No, we finish it up with This Week in History, a trivia style. And that's what we do. We do it every Sunday. We have a good time. If you're looking at me on Facebook, normally that right side of the screen there, or one side of the screen, is filled up with a chat box, but I couldn't get it working. And to make my life as stress-free as possible, I decided to just ignore it. Just ignore it. Now, if you're making comments on Facebook, I'll bounce back and forth to see if any comments have been made. But for the most part, and as usual, I do have a 23-second delay. Mr. Taney has taken the time to time it. There are things I enjoy about the Talks of the Tick. And I, of course, appreciate the Book of Faces. But I hate the fact that it's a 23-second delay. 23-second delay, you know, even in radio, the sneeze button is like a 5-second delay. So I don't know why it's 23 seconds, but I also don't care. Why don't we get to it and start off with your National Days of the Week? I have to go to a different tab. There we go. We don't do today. We already did today. We do Monday through Sunday going forward. And it gave me Sunday through Saturday, and I already did that, so we're not doing that again. Here we go. Monday, May 5th. Let me try that. I slow it down a little bit again. Monday, May 5th. Many of you will know immediately is Cinco de Mayo. But we're going to give you something different. You know, you can do the Cinco de Mayo thing, of course, right? You go to El Rodeo for the Cinco de Mayo and get you one of their little lunch specials. Cinco de Mayo, El Rodeo has amazing lunch specials, and there's 9 locations in the greater Harrisburg metropolitan area, but we're not celebrating Cinco de Mayo. We are instead going to celebrate National Hoagie Day because racism? I don't even know. I don't even know why we can't just be satisfied with National Cinco de Mayo or with National Totally Chipotle Day, but we're going to go with National Hoagie Day. And the thing about hoagies is it's a submarine sandwich. A hoagie is just a sandwich. It could be called a hero, a hoagie. What are some other names for a roll with stuff inside it? Grinder? I think a grinder is another name. that you hear for hoagies. So all the names and all the things that make hoagies what they are is what we're going to celebrate on Monday, Cinco de Mayo. Now, I recommend bringing that hoagie down with some Dos Equis or a Corona. What is the story behind Cinco de Mayo? Isn't it like Mexican Independence Day? I don't know why it's a national American day or why we celebrate it so fervently year after year after year. But in a option you have, you could go and celebrate National Cinco de Mayo Day. That's fine. That's on you. Or you could celebrate National Hoagie Grinder Submarine Sandwich Hero Day. Hoagie. That's what that is. So I did, let me see. So it's a grinder. All right. So your comments, just so you know, your comments on your comments on TikTok are hidden behind a screen. And it isn't until they get halfway up the screen that I can see them. So I may be late. Again, TikTok, you are not my primary audience. My primary audience is those good people. It's a food day. Yes. On Facebook. So now that we know what that is. On Tuesday, May the 6th, it's National. I got 3 to choose from. I think I've done that one before. There we go. On Tuesday, May the 6th, it's National Beverage Day. That's it. You can't get any more vague than that. Like, it's National Air Day. What kind of beverage are we talking about, T-Bone? Don't know. Because it just says National Beverage Day. Now, that could be an adult beverage. That could be a virgin beverage. It could be water. Apparently, if you're diabetic, grapefruit, not an option. Just found that out. You know, the wonderful thing about diabetes is they kind of just expect you, number one, to know that you have it, and number two, to know what you are and are not supposed to do. You didn't know? No, I didn't know. No one told me. Anyway, I can tell you this. On National Beverage Day, water is 100% acceptable. Drink yourself water. What I love to do is confuse people every opportunity I get. So my water bottle that I drink from on a regular basis is a soju bottle. And unless you read Hangul, you really wouldn't know that it's soju. Or you wouldn't know that it's a recycled soju bottle. But one of my favorite gifts I ever gave somebody for an office party was like a gallon-size flask. And I told him, I said, never put anything but water inside this. And keep it at your desk and have fun with it. But the moment you put any beverage inside this other than water, it ruins it because it can never be fun again. So only use it as a water container. And he did. He had a gallon-sized flask on his desk. And they make for great conversations. It's Tuesday, May the 6th, National Beverage Day. Moving on, Wednesday, May the 7th, it's National Teacher Appreciation Day. Now, I had other days I could have chose, but I chose National Teacher Appreciation Day specifically for my Rhoda audience because at the Department of Defense Educational Activity Rhoda, Spain, 2 of those teachers are dear, dear friends of mine that I love immensely. And they're the only active teachers I know. And because I know them, I want them to have a wonderful day. On Wednesday, May 7th, National Teachers Day. On Thursday, May 8th, it's National Have a Coke Day. Not some Coke, a Coke. So if you're going to drink Coca-Cola, you got some choices. You got all the flavors that they've come out with over the years. You've got your straight up Coke, and then you got your Diet Coke. And if you're a fat person, you've probably been drinking Diet Coke for years and years and realizing that it ain't worth it. I, in a blind taste test, I could not tell you the difference between Coke and Diet Coke. But an unblind taste test, if I were to look at the label, I would see one has a ton of calories while the other purports to have 0 calories. And I'm going to tell you that that is all make believe. Whatever sugary substance they're using in Diet Coke to give it the exact same flavor of what's in straight up Coke, it might not have calories. It might not be high in caloric value, but it clearly doesn't benefit you. Because if you do nothing but drink Diet Coke, you still gain weight. So whether it's Coke, Diet Coke, Cherry Coke, Coke Lime, what are some other flavors of Coke that are out there? Just be careful. Just be careful on the amount you consume. But it's National Coke Day on Thursday the 8th, so have one at least. And, of course, if you're going to have a Coke, as we all know, you must have a smile. Have a Coke and a smile. Man, I have lived through a lot of Coke ads throughout my life. On Friday, May 9th, it is National Lost Sock Memorial Day. Why are you screaming 1 minute? That 1 minute comment just made it up on a TikTok, and I'm not bouncing back and forth as often as I should be. It's a food day, and get deported, and cherry Coke. I thought I said that one. Powder. Don't know what that's about. It is hard to do so many things. I'm going to take this and put it over here because there's no reason I need to see that over there. So that I can now see your Facebook comments live as they come in. But as I told you, say the things, go ahead, say May the 4th be with you. Nope, it's a grinder. It's Facebook, Such Good News, Diet Coke, Laugh My, LMFAO, and Jack Daniels. Yes, Coke does make a good mixer. It doesn't, and the thing about Coke is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you got the diet or the full strength or the cherry or the lime or the lemon. It doesn't matter. You mix it with alcohol and it all tastes just fine. That's Captain Morgan's and Coke, one of my personal favorites. Let's get back to where we were. I know I got distracted there for a second. Friday, May 9th, is National Lost Sock Memorial Day. Here I go with a life hack that's going to change your life. It's going to make you feel wealthier, smarter. All right. What have I noticed? I've noticed that through the years, whenever we have a sock that has a hole in it, what do? We throw the broken sock out, and we throw out its twin as well. We've been doing this all of our lives. We have been trained to throw out a pair of socks instead of a sock. So if you want to live like you've got money, go to your sock drawer right now. Take out all the socks in the sock drawer, throw them all in the garbage. Starting fresh, starting anew on National Lost Sock Memorial Day, we're going to start with a fresh batch of socks. Go get you some socks. Get some good quality socks. Get them all the same color, all the same shape, all the same style. You don't need many. There's only 7 days in a week. So if you have 10 pairs of socks, that gets you through the week with a couple of spares. And then put them in your drawer. Now, should one of those socks go astray, no big deal. Because the other 9 pairs will be the replacement. Should one of those socks become faulty and get some holes in them, stop wearing them. But throw only 1 sock away. So now you have 9.5 pairs of socks. And don't take the time to bundle them. They're all the same. Just scoop them all up. Think of you're saving yourself from so much frustration. You don't have to find a sock and find the other sock and put them together and put them in the drawer. They're your socks. Just grab all of your socks and put them in your sock drawer. singles. And you pull one out and you pull the other out. And if one of them goes bad, you throw one away. You don't find an innocent victim of a hole and throw him away as well. And gradually, your socks will either disappear in the washing machine or they will get holes in them and you will dwindle down to only a few pairs of socks and then start the process over. Maybe on May 9th of next year, if you've had 10 pairs of socks that made it all the way through the year, but you're down to like 5.5 pair, throw them away. We'll call this National Sock Replenishment Day and do the same process a year from now or 2 years from now or whenever May 9th and your sock depreciation stock falls into place. Robert suggests making sock buckets, sock puppets, and that's hilarious. On Saturday, May the 10th, it's National Shrimp Day. I love some shrimp. You got to cook them right. But if you cook them right, they're painfully delicious. And they're good for you. The problem with shrimp is we make them bad. Start with cooking them in butter. And all that buttery goodness gets in your scrimps. Now, I don't know how you make your shrimp, and of course you can make your shrimp any way you want, but I love to boil them, and I love to put them in Old Bay in some scrimps, yes. Seasoning, I love garlic. I do enjoy. I tell you how I enjoy shrimp the most. Fresh caught. And if y'all folks live down near the Cooper River there in Charleston, you get you some bait, you throw it out there, you go and hook it up, and you cast net over your bait late at night, and you will come away with tons and tons of shrimp. And then you take them home, and you pop the heads off them bad boys, and you cook them up nice and neat. I think you cook them up nice and neat, and then pop the heads off of them. I love fresh shrimp. I love it, especially when I catch it. I feel like the manliest I feel is when I'm eating food that I provided to my family or just me. Scrimp Alfredo. Robert likes to talk. Robert is on a scrimp thing right now. He's trying to pull a Bubba Gump on me where he's talking about all kinds of different scrimps. I do a scrimp Alfredo, but I tell you, I do a chicken Alfredo that's even better because I make that chicken as spicy as Jesus. It's so spicy. And then when you eat the spicy, the coolness of the Alfredo assists you immensely. Now, moving on to Sunday, May the 11th. It is your mama's day. You heard? Here's the problem with your mama's day. Many people get it confused with your spouse's day. If your wife is a mother, it is up to her children to celebrate her on Mother's Day. You are supposed to celebrate your mother on Mother's Day. And because there's so much consternation and so much confusion on Mother's Day, we're not even going to call it in our national days of the week. Instead, he remembers the spicy chicken Alfredo. Instead, we're going to go for National, this is Sunday, next Sunday, Eat What You Want Day. Now, you might not think that's a popular day, but I'm going to tell you that's probably the most amazing day of the year for me. Because I don't get to eat what I want. I get told what I'm going to eat, whether I like it or not. And I eat it with a smile on my face. Because it's given to me with love, whether I like it or not. But National Eat What You Want Day, Sunday, May the 11th, by all means, eat what you want. But be careful. Don't go overboard. Eat and enjoy what you want. You know, a couple of bites is a couple of bites of something you really enjoy is sometimes better than a feast. I went to a diner recently, and they had the old country fried steak, and it was the biggest country fried steak I'd ever seen. And I started eating it and enjoying it. And it came with a side plate full of stuff, full of accoutrements. And I ate that country fried steak, and the person I was eating with decided that I shouldn't eat all of the country fried steak. Don't eat all that in one sitting, she said. But I did. To be fair, I did not eat all the accoutrements, but I did eat all that country fried steak because if I'm going to a diner, that's there's a bunch of TV shows out there of people who go and visit places to eat. If I did that, the only thing I'd be testing when I go to any place is their country fried steak. If they make an amazing country fried steak, they're good with me. And that has been your national days of the week. Moving on to your ComCom note. It's a community service or comedy service note. All I can tell you is tonight at 6 p.m., the doors open for an open mic at The Den. The Den, co-located with Harrisburg's premier Jiggle Joint, is an attachment to Savannah's. It's located at 1000 Hannah Street. The doors open at 6. Show starts at 7. It's an open mic. It's just comedians doing comedy things, but in a safe, non-stripper environment. There's no glitter. There's no strippers. You go into the Den. You can get their 50-cent wings. You can get their cheap beer, and you can watch comedians work on jokes. It's fun. That starts at 6, 1000 Hannah Street in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And if you get bored, or if you're nefarious and you want to see naked women, you go next door to Savannah's and you pay the entry fee and you get in. There are events where getting into the comedy show gets you free entry into the strip club, but this is not one of those events. This is a stand-up. It's an open mic, and you don't have to pay to get in, but you do have to pay to get in next door. If you decide to go next door, no one's forcing you to go next door. There you go. That is your ComCom note for the week. And then we move on to our fan favorite portion of the show. Now, those of you, again, who are playing along on the Talks of the Tick, remember, your answers are way down there. They're way down. So what I would recommend, if you're not going to play with us on Facebook, and I still want to include you in the game, that you type in your answer and then move your answer up the screen. When it gets about halfway up the screen, I can see it. And that's the only way I could kind of keep my head framed. I can push the camera back and raise it up, and then there'll be this much green screen above my head, but I don't want to do that. So you can hit a period, hit a period, hit a period, hit a period, and that'll bring your comment up so that I can see your answer to the question. Again, the goal every week is to go 7 for, it's a jiggle joint, the jiggly room. The goal every week is to go 7 for 7. I do not know the answers, and I was careful to avoid the mistake that we had last week where ChatGPT gave us answers literally from the week that we had just lived. It was very strange. Question number 1. On April 26, 1986, one of the world's worst nuclear disasters occurred. What was the name of the nuclear power plant involved? So it's April 26, 1986. And again, these are easy ones. I mean, normally I would say either you know it or you don't know it. But there was a nuclear disaster, had a worldwide impact that took place on April 26, 1986. Which power plant was it? I'll give you some options in just a second. Was it 3 Mile Island, which is right over there, literally a stone's throw away from my current residence? Was it Fukushima Daiichi? Oh, I love Robert and James jumping in early with Chernobyl, because that's option number 3, Chernobyl. Or was it Sellafield? I believe Sellafield was fictional, right? Wasn't there a movie and the power plant they were working in was called Sellafield? Oh, I wish I could remember that. Those are your options: 3 Mile Island, Fukushima, Chernobyl, or Sellafield. I, along with Robert and James, agree that in 1986, in 1986, the answer is Chernobyl. Question number 2. Which famed English playwright, known for the works like, oh my goodness, this isn't even a real question, man. How about this? How about we try this? I take out that part of the question because that part of the question gives you the answer. I'm going to give you this question, slightly edited. What famed English playwright died on April 23rd, 1616? Famous English playwright, dead April 1616. Was it Christopher Marlowe? Was it Bill himself? Was it old William Shakespeare? Or Thomas Middleton? Those are the options given to you. If I had read the full question to you, there's no doubt in my mind you would know the answer to this question. So I edited it a little bit. I'm going to check right there. Hello, 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 hello. All right, you won't count, though. Robert pops in with a Shakespeare. Okay, and mine does count. Don't tell me what doesn't count. James pops in with Shakespeare. I also know the answer to be Shakespeare, and I'll tell you why. If you haven't answered yet, there's some other viewers out there. If you haven't answered yet, the full question is, what famed English playwright, known for his works like Hamlet and Romeo and Juliet, is said to have died on April 23rd? Well, we all know who that is. We would have all gotten that right. So it does count. Yours and mine. On April 25th, no, bull. No, don't start with me. On April 25th, 1953, the structure of DNA was published in Nature by Watson and Crick. What shape did they describe? What shape is DNA? Can you do this without me giving you the multiple choice questions or the multiple choice answers? When you answer correctly, and I haven't provided the multiple choice answers yet, that always surprises me. Unless you're Chick Brew, who just says something like beetle. It was the beetle shape. Again, the question, April 25th, 1953. The structure of DNA was published in Nature by Watson and Crick. What shape did they describe? Here are your options. Was it the spiral helix? Was it the double helix? Was it the corkscrew ladder? Or was it the twisted braid? Mr. Taney pops in with the double helix. I agree with him that it's the double helix. And you know, once I agree, anybody else that's playing along is going to say, yeah. I think it's a double helix too. And if the next answer come in, yeah, I think it's a double helix too, I would laugh. And that's my answer for question number 3. Robert agrees, double helix. Question number 4. April 25th is celebrated as Anzac Day in Australia and New Zealand. It commemorates a major World War I battle in what country? April 25th is celebrated as Anzac, A-N-Z-A-C Day. In Australia and New Zealand, it commemorates a major World War I battle in what country? Is it France, Turkey, Germany, or Italy? So obviously this is famous to them. It's so famous to Australia and New Zealand that they celebrated on the 25th of April. But I don't live in New Zealand and I don't live in Australia. So I don't know what they celebrate. I do know World War I, Germany, Turkey, Italy, France. Robert's going to go with France. I'm going to go with Germany. Maybe. I'm going with Germany. That's just Robert. James is going with France. Everyone's going with France except me, so far. Moving on. April 23rd, 2005, the first ever video was uploaded to YouTube. What was its title? The first video ever uploaded to YouTube. 20 years ago, as of the 23rd. What was the title? Yeah, I thought Anzio too, but it didn't work out for me. Sorry. Uh, is the name of the video, the first one ever uploaded to YouTube, At the Zoo. My first video, Me at the Zoo, or Hello YouTube. What was the first video uploaded to YouTube? What was the title of the first one uploaded to YouTube? All right, James is going.